Last month of the Major League Baseball season, but aside from the wild card races, nothing really that close. Hey, how are you folks? Jason Horowitz, glad to be with you here on CBSSports.com. It's Power Rankings for today, 8/31, the last day of August. Let's bring in our CBSSports.com writer, Larry Dobrow, on the phone. So a little different from normal, but he'll be back in studio with us next week. Larry, you look at your top 5 of the Power Rankings. You got 4 division leaders, and then you have the Red Sox back in. When you look at those 4 division leaders, anybody that should be worried about maybe the fact that one of their divisions may be closer by the end of this month?
You know, it's the easy answer, but frankly, it's no. Right now, the Cardinals looked like, going into the month of August, one of the more vulnerable division leaders. But, everybody in the Central is pretty much took August off, and now they've got a 10-game lead. Philadelphia, ever since the Cliff Lee trade, they've been playing like a world champion. Before, they had that terrible stretch during July where they really couldn't beat anybody. Yankees, sure, Boston could close a 6-game deficit, but, the Yankees are pretty good right now, and, it's one of those situations where, if you're worrying about how many innings Java Chamberlain is going to pitch, you're not too worried about the guy behind you. As for the Angels, Texas is still there. Every time we count them out, say that they're going away, they somehow come back. They had a pretty good week. They took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. But, 5 games is a lot to overcome in 1 month, even though it's been done before. So, anyway, long answer, but the real answer to that one is no. Nobody should be all that worried. Rangers
also chasing the Red Sox, who are back into your Power Rankings top 5. We'll get to the team they replaced, that being the Dodgers, in a sec. But you look at the Red Sox, the rest of this month, how good do you think this team can become in making this playoff push and maybe into the playoffs?
Well, it's interesting. The Red Sox are one of those teams right now that they beat who they're supposed to beat. You look at them against the Orioles, you look at them against the Blue Jays, you look at them against some of the lesser lights of the AL Central. They win those games consistently. That said, if you're a Red Sox fan, you can't be feeling too good about your starting pitching right now. Daisuke Masazaka got killed in Double-A ball, much less Triple-A. Brad Penny's been released. Tim Wakefield is hurt again. You go into the playoffs today, your number 3 starter is Clay Buchholz, and that's something, if you're a Red Sox fan, you got to be a little bit anxious about.
Larry, what about the Dodgers? Obviously, that's switching to the NL here. The team that they've replaced in your Power Rankings in the top 5. How concerned should they be about, maybe not so much about a team catching them in the NL West, but about where they are as a team?
Well, they look kind of fried, and they've looked kind of fried all the month of August. On one hand, some of their problems might have been a little bit overstated. They've been basically a 500 team, if not a little bit below in August. On the other hand, they're still outscoring their opponents in the month by about 25 runs. On the other, you look at what Joe Torre's doing. The bullpen is completely fried. Russ Martin barely looks like he can get out of the batter's box every time he takes a swing. This week was something like, the 5th time where Joe Torre finally looked at Matt Kemp and said, he's my second-best hitter. Maybe I should bat him in the top 5 guys in the order. You just wonder if this team might have peaked in mid-June.
Yeah, you'd hope not if you're a Dodgers fan, but if you're a Rockies or a Giants fan, you're looking and you're saying, man, we have really good teams. Except for the fact that the Giants just swept the Rockies this weekend for the first time in 4 years. When you look at those 2 teams, which one do you say as being better, even though as of today the wild card race is tied?
Well, first and foremost, how much fun were those 2 series?
Absolutely.
Last
Fantastic.
Weekend, you have a walk-off grand slam where a pitcher is getting walked in the 14th inning. These games have been incredibly fun. This probably makes me sound like a little bit of a person who's denying the recent past, but between those 2 teams, Colorado, to me, looks more balanced. They've had a terrible streak. The second that everybody was proclaiming them, like Destiny's Children or something last week, all of a sudden they fall off. Center field situation's a mess with Dexter Fowler down and, Gonzalez basically cutting his fingers off by accident. The Giants are what they always were. They're 3 great pitchers, and I think, unfortunately, you have to add Barry Zito back to that list right now. But they're 3 great pitchers, and, Pablo Sandoval. That's almost enough. It's been enough so far. They still don't get on base. They still have, Benji Molina clogging up the base paths every time he does get lucky enough to get on, which is never by walk. I don't know. I like the way Colorado's balanced. The bullpen is deeper. I'm not sure it's better, but it's deeper than it was before they added Betancourt and the rest. I think Colorado is looking like the best bet for the wild card.
Well, either way, one of those teams will be a lot of fun if they can get in to the playoffs to see how they do come October. Larry Dobrow, thank you very much, sir. We'll see you next week back here in studio in New York.
Take care.
All right, folks, for more on the Power Rankings and the entire list, including, whoever's last, be sure to stay right here with CBSSports.com. For Larry Dobrow, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.